Thanks for listening to today's daily devotional. The lesson today is He did it. Am I in it? In the book of Daniel, the second chapter in our reading yesterday, we read where Nebuchadnezzar had a vision, and Daniel was given the ability from God to interpret this vision. In Daniel, the second chapter, in verse 32, we find that what Nebuchadnezzar saw was an image whose head was of fine gold, the breast and arms of silver, the belly and thighs of brass. And then in the next verse, the legs of iron, feet part of iron and part of clay. Well, Daniel, as he interpreted this dream and gave him, in verse 36, the interpretation thereof before the king, we find he told him that he himself was, in verse 38, the head of gold. In verse 39, he says, there shall rise another kingdom inferior to thee, and then another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And then in verse 40, there shall be a fourth kingdom, strong as iron, that breaketh and subdueth all things, and iron of potter's clay, and part of iron. The kingdom shall be divided, and there shall be put in the strength of iron and of clay. You look at that, and he tells them this sequence of events, but the important thing is in verse 44, that last section in the divided kingdom, he says, in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. You look and you find that historically you can trace that. The Babylonian kingdom was followed by the Medo-Persian kingdom. Medo-Persian kingdom followed by the Grecian kingdom. The Grecian kingdom followed by the Roman kingdom, which divided. And in the book of Acts, the second chapter, the time of Jesus Christ, you find that that divided Roman Empire, remember, it shall come into pieces. That divided Roman Empire was in existence. And it was in the days of those kings that in Acts, the second chapter, Jesus' church was established. He'd come forth and he'd identified in Matthew 16, verse 16 through 18, the kingdom and the church as being one and the same. In the book of Acts, you find that those who gladly received the word were baptized. And what did God do? He added them to the church. They were the saved. And that church, Jesus said, was going to continue on till the end of the world, Matthew 16, verse 16 through 18. You can find many other prophecies, but the point is, you look at those and you find God said it and he did it. Now the question is, am I in it? You see, that kingdom is the one, according to 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, that's going to be delivered up to heaven whenever Jesus comes again. The saved. That's who those who gladly receive the word are. Heaven bound, that's who those gladly receive the word added to the church are. There's no uncertainty on whether God did it, whether he established the kingdom as he promised. The only uncertainty is whether I am a part of it. And if I'm not, I have no hope. My hope is simply in this earth that will be destroyed whenever Jesus Christ returns. I pray that we will look and we'll determine to trust God, knowing of his fulfillment of his prophecies, and then follow him. And if we do, we will have a great day as members of his kingdom, the church. Thank you for listening. Thank you again for joining us in this Bible study. We remind you, if you'd like to follow along in our daily Bible reading, the link below in the description of this video will give you the PDF so you can read right along with us. If you have any other questions or if you'd like information on a Bible study, contact us with the information provided on the screen before you.